Sorry. So she's still teaching and working with the North Shore School Board, I believe, and Betty has sat on a number of boards over her life and consulted around the world on certain issues with Braille. She's been on the AMI board, Blind Beginnings, the list goes on to the point where I just gave up trying to memorize them all. She's also, in 2000, won the YWCA Woman of Distinction Award in the field of education. So I don't know if there's much more I can say about Betty. So here she is, and please everybody, please be respectful and shut up.
Well, hello everybody. It's wonderful to be here finally at a VocalEye fundraiser. I have wanted to do this for years and haven't been able to because it's always been happening at the same time as a Good Noise Vancouver Gospel Choir event, and when I was chairing their board I didn't think it would be cool to go to somebody else's event. So anyway, it's wonderful to be here. I'm absolutely thrilled, and I hope all of you will enjoy my story. I'm just going to take a moment to get my dog settled because he's wandering around me like he's not sure what he's supposed to be doing up here. So just hang on a second. Actually, what he was doing was sniffing the floor for crumbs. Anyway. Now, those of you who know me will know that one of the things that I enjoy doing is traveling. Now, I could tell you travel stories about going to Knott's Berry Farm with my children and being talked into keeping the syrup in my purse and then it breaking open, and that was a very fun thing that happened. Or, you know, I could talk about another travel incident when I was 21 and I was in Europe hitchhiking with two girlfriends, because people did that in the 70s, you know, kind of goofy. Anyway, they decided to go get currency, and we were in Sofia, Bulgaria, and the car was being driven by a couple of Arabs, and they got in the car and drove off, and I was by myself, and I thought I was on my way to a harem. But I'm still here, so I guess that worked out okay. However, what I want to talk about tonight is something that happened, I think it was in 2004. And some people might call this a shaggy dog story. But I don't really call this a shaggy dog story, but I have to say it really is a dog story. So I will set the stage for you. But before I do that, in keeping with VocalEye tradition, I suppose I should tell you what I'm wearing tonight so that you have some idea. I just got a perm, so my hair's all curly. I'm wearing this white lace top that has a fringe all the way around the bottom and around the sleeves. And yeah, and I have a nice smile. So, I digress. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're going to talk about this travel story. So, some of you may know that I'm on a few boards, just a few. And often I travel to Toronto, and quite often I go on my own, but sometimes I coerce my husband into coming along. And if I don't bring the dog with me, he calls himself the two-legged dog. But that's another story. Anyway, this time we went to Toronto together, and it was a board meeting that I was attending, and we were on our way home. Now, this involves dog number 4, who was called Joetta. Joetta had a thing about being on planes. She didn't like being near the toilet. And this particular plane, the bulkhead was too small, and the seat that had been assigned to us was right beside the toilet. And I said, is there anywhere else we can possibly go? And they said, well, we can put you right in the back. And I said, fine. So we went to the back row, and we're getting all settled, and I put the harness up in the overhead bin, and everything's cool. And the flight attendant comes along and says, oh, that's a nice fur coat, but what's it doing on the floor? Well, anyway, that's not the story, but that was a little bit amusing. Anyhow, so we're getting ready to go, and the doors of the plane are shut, and they're starting to do their safety demonstration. when what happens is that the cabin starts to fill with smoke. And I don't know how much you know about planes, but there was probably hundreds of gallons of fuel on this plane, and when the cabin fills with smoke, it's a serious problem. So the flight attendant came on the PA system and she said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do a gate evacuation." And all of this, you know, everybody's adrenaline is going up. And she says, "We're going to do a gate evaluation. Do not get your personal belongings. Stand up, move out of your seats, and go in an orderly fashion to the front of the plane and get off." Well, if you know human beings, what you will understand about this situation is everybody started getting up and trying to take stuff out of the overhead bins, and the aisles get completely blocked. And Joetta doesn't have her harness on, but my husband Don said, "Okay, Betty, why don't you just go, go." I said, "Okay." So I picked up her leash and she used her neck. She busted through all those people. She got to the front of the plane. As I'm zinging past the stewardess said, "Do you need any help, ma'am?" I'm going, "No, I'm out of here." And away we went. Joetta got me up to the top of the bridge safely. And 10 minutes later, my husband came up to join me. And he said to me, "All right," he said, "if that plane had blown up, I would have been dead and you would have made it. You would still be here. That dog is incredible." So that's why guide dogs are so amazing. They really are fabulous. Now, I have to tell you something else as an addendum to this particular story, and that is that I thought, "Oh my God, that dog will not get on another plane because she'll be too scared." But no, she walked right on the plane, settled in her seat, curled up, and went to sleep until we got to Vancouver. So they are just so incredibly trusting, and we can learn from them. And we can learn from that situation too, that when you get an instruction from someone in authority, you just run and do what they tell you, and you don't goof up and try to get your purse. And I mean, I could have tried to get the dog's harness out of the plane and I could be dead. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that story. It's one of my favorites and it's a true story. So thank you very much, everybody.